saw two kids get into a fight. See that today was it really challenged my heart to a different level I've not been at in that way, emotionally or just seeing that. It's one thing to see some things on TV. It's another thing to see it with your own eyes. And it does something to you. It takes you to a level that you haven't been before.
The one little boy was about 8 years old. She would smoke crack and then she would just blow it in his face. She just abused him sexually, and then she would take pictures of him. She would take nude and sexual pictures and exploit her own flesh and blood. You see it on TV and you hear the stories, but you would never dream you would look at a beautiful little boy. And he was playing and he was completely fine. He was completely fine with it, but you know, what would that do to someone? Like, what would that do to a little boy? And my heart just absolutely broke.
Watching a woman get hit by a car yesterday, flying in the air, and New York is a different place. I'll never be the same.
So you want to come to Brooklyn Boot Camp, but you're not 100% sure yet? If that's the case, let me give you some advice. Don't come. We don't need you here. We don't even want you. In order to make it through this boot camp, a week in the inner city of New York, you better be sure that this is what you really want. Because let me tell you something. This is not for everybody. For about 25 years, I've been reaching out to the children of the inner city here in New York. And we've learned through trial and error what it takes to reach a new generation with the gospel of Jesus Christ. This is not a picnic, folks. This is hardcore inner city. It's not for those people who take life lightly. I've seen boot campers come to this place thinking it was going to be cute to talk to some little poor kids, thinking this was a picnic. Let me tell you something. Those kind of boot campers, they don't make it here for more than a day. But if you're willing to serve for a week, listen to me. If you're willing to get right in the middle of this thing, not being afraid of a challenge, not being afraid to get your hands dirty, not be afraid to step up and see if maybe God is putting something in your heart. If you're bored with everyday Christianity, church as usual, if you want God to challenge you, then maybe you need to come and spend a week with us here in this place.
Coming to Metro Bootcamp, it really keeps you busy. They have a selection of just about everything. From going out to visitations to actually seeing how do they get the kids or the parents to a site or to their church. You're going door to door. You get to see how they build relationships in those neighborhoods. Why kids come to Sidewalk Sunday School, because those leaders that have gone door to door, they have a relationship with them through the classes that they have. You know, it's not just they're doing the workshops for you at Metro. They're letting you go out and do the hands-on experience at Sidewalk Sunday School, riding on the buses, doing youth ministry. There's youth ministry and adult services that you get to experience all the way down to preschool. So you're actually getting the life of the church in that one small week. And they also got you have an opportunity to go down to Manhattan and do some sightseeing.
But what these workshops do is we work with people and we train them how to communicate their experiences. The simple thing is just knowing really in yourself that God is real and using the gifts and abilities that God has given you.
If you just step out in faith and you just speak from your heart, do what you know is right to do, you just let God lead you. Because, it's nothing that we do, it's what God does through us.
The people that came to boot camp are a new environment for them. And to see how they've stepped out on faith, trusted the Lord, and done things that they promised they weren't going to do.
God is simply asking us to communicate who He is with the gifts and the talents and the abilities that He has given us. And what we do in these workshops is we try to bring those gifts up, bring them into the light, and show you how to use them and tell everyone about the love of God that's inside of you.
Go, go, go! biggest thing that has challenged me this week was on Wednesday we went and we did some team bonding, and they had some different rope courses.
I think it really relates to the body of Christ. Like, I can do my part well, but if somebody else isn't, or somebody else is doing their part well and I'm not, overall it doesn't work. So I always enjoy group dynamics like this because it helps me relate it to other situations where I don't put as much effort into the group. And so it makes me be a little more others conscious instead of always self-conscious.
In order to reach more lives, there needs to be a team of people that come together and who are willing to sacrifice their own desires and their own agenda to be able to help other people and to be able to work for Christ.
I believe with all my heart that if youth pastors want their youth to have God's heart, they need to bring them where God's doing something. And they come and see what Metro does with those kids for a few hours each week. It changes your heart and it makes you appreciate everything you have.
It showed me, even after working in kids ministry for over 20 years, that there's still innovative ideas and innovative ways to reach these kids. And it showed me that anyone can do it. One thing that I've seen here is that it's the heart of the people. It's the heart and the love of Jesus Christ that does it all.
It was good for me to be challenged and pushed to a limit I didn't think I could reach. And I wouldn't have ever put myself in that situation unless someone had put some pressure, a little bit of pressure on me in love to cause me to reach a goal I didn't set for myself.
It'll change your church. It'll change your youth ministry. Most of all, it'll change you.
Maybe Brooklyn Boot Camp is exactly what you've been looking for. Teenagers, youth workers, Sunday school teachers, anybody who's ready to look beyond the normal way of doing ministry. That's what this thing's about. You see, this experience will help you to get some direction in your life. I guarantee it, it'll challenge you to do something you have never done before. And many of you have heard me say, if you want something you've never had before, you've got to do something you've never done before. Makes sense, doesn't it? It'll motivate you to get out of your comfort zone, get out of the box. Some of you just need to get out of something. Get out of the normal. See, everybody wants to walk on water. Nobody wants to get out of the boat. It's time to get out, folks. It's time to get out and make a difference and realize that one person really can, listen to me, one person really can make a difference. So if you're really sure about it, if you think you can handle it, if you feel like you're up for it, contact us today. I'll see you in the ghetto.